This is a clip from a recent episode of the Keep Off the Grass LiveCast.
A fun thing to talk about was what's everybody's preference for the height of your cut? You know, what are we all mowing at, depending on where we're at and you know, what kind of grass you have. What do y'all think about height of cut as our first little topic discussion?
No, that's great. I think that's great. I think the height of cut is, like you said, it's going to be varying from cool season and warm season and vice versa. But I myself as a Bermuda guy, I mean, I know last season, man, I think I came out Bermuda around 2-3 inches. This year is going to be completely different. So I'm crossing my fingers. So we'll see. What about you guys?
I vary from depending on the season, right? So I have perennial ryegrass. I like to mow it as tall as I can without it matting over or folding over on itself. So probably around like 3.5 inches before it starts to flop over on itself. But in the summertime, I like to keep it as tall as I can, especially just to kind of, drive the roots as deep as I can in the summertime. And then, in the cooler months like spring and fall, I can mow it a little bit lower, maybe down to like 3 inches or something like that.
Yeah, it's turf type tall fescue, not turf type short fescue. So I'm 3.5, 4 inches in the summertime. First cut of the year, I usually go a little shorter. Last cut of the year, usually go a little shorter. Not down to those couple 2-3 inches like the Bermuda guys do, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as Vince. In the spring, I'll kind of cut it a little bit shorter. Typically, I liked it 3.5 or so, but last year, after some feedback, some people were encouraging me to go a little bit lower. So changed the old Time Master to the double Ds. So put D on each setting and took her down a little bit. So I ended the year at like 2.5, and I really, really liked it. It looked a little clean. So I think I'm going to do spring and fall at 2.5, and then summer, obviously when it's dry, to promote health a little bit, kick it up to 3.5, and I'll probably stay there for the summer.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I tend to go a little bit shorter in the spring, I think, than I do in the summertime, just to try to retain a little bit of plant health. In the summertime, I'll cut it a little bit taller. Now I have turf type tall fescue, and I tend to mow it like 2.5 inches in the springtime, and I really don't go that much higher. I would say in the summertime, pretty much around like 3 inches. I know some people cut their turf type tall fescue like real long. I've always kept mine, I guess, really on the shorter side for the grass variety.
Yeah, and you have mature trees around your house, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so you get a little shade from there, so you don't have to cut as long to get the shade from the grass on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the other things that I do is I actually do change the height of cut between the front and the backyard. My backyard gets shade, I would say probably in the summertime. I'd imagine it's probably under shade like 60% of the day, 70% of the day even. Really, it's just that middle of the day, that 1-2 hours, right around noon. I'd say from maybe like 11 to 1 o'clock. It's, it's just full sun, and the rest of the day there's like some modicum of shade in the backyard, but the front yard, my house faces towards the west. So, I mean, the afternoon sun just cranks on my front yard. And so I do tend to keep the front a little bit longer. So I say, I generally am mowing it like 3 inches, but probably maybe closer to 3.5. But I definitely raise the mower deck. I'll do the backyard first, and then I'll raise the mower deck and go do the front yard. And I try to keep it a little bit longer because it is full sun.
Yeah, with my tall fescue in the springtime, when it's not quite so hot and we're still getting decent rainfall, I like to cut it a little shorter. I think it looks real good. And, my thought process is maybe that'll, spur growth, especially your first few mows of the season. If you kind of keep it a little shorter, that really encourages growth. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I have in my mind when I'm doing that. And then as we get into the real summer heat, If I cut it that short, it'll struggle with all the heat and losing all that moisture. So definitely keeping it taller in the heat of the summer, I think works better for me. And then I'll drop it back down. I've overseeded every season in the fall, so I'll start progressively dropping my deck to get it, real short right before I overseed. That way, all my baby grass can get some of that sun as they're popping up, and they'll get crowded out. Yeah. How about the Sanog guys? They're
oh man, if you guys should know, Sanog likes to be tall, man. Especially around the when it's super hot, you can't really cut it short because you literally will stress it out a lot. If I could keep my Sanog at 4+ inches the whole year, I would. Now, the only time where I go lower during growing season is when I get hit by fungus. That's the only time I go probably 3 low. That's the lowest I'll go, right? But Sanog loves to be tall no matter what. As you guys saw, that I went ahead and scalped the Sanog. That's just before growing season, so I can go ahead and get new growth down there, correct? That's the only time I will do it, once a year. And of course, when I get hit by fungus. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Scalp for Sanog is what, like a 2-inch cut, not
no.
down.
I did it the safe. I guess did it the safe way, but you can actually go all the way to 1 inch.
Really?
Yeah.
David, does St. Augustine, I'm still confused. Does that qualify as turf grass?
Yes.
Burn.
I'm hating on Saint Aug.
Zing.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Keep Off the Grass livecast on YouTube and join us every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock, 9 Central for the next DIY lawn care discussion.